Good morning, YouTube, Facebook. It's Jeffrey Howells Carpet Cleaning here. I hope you all had a great New Year's Day and celebration and all that, and get a little bit of time off, spend time with the family. Don't know if you went on vacation or whatever, but I hope that all of your days are going well and you're ready to hit the new year with a vengeance, because that's what we're doing. So anyways, what the title of today's video is going to be is Experienced Carpet Cleaning Milwaukie Skillfully Executed. I know that that's not a long tail word that a lot of people would consider using. However, what I am doing is using some power words to put into that video title, and what that is going to do is it's just going to help rank it in YouTube, as well as adding some of those power words to help out Google rankings and all that. So when you guys put together a video, one tip that I can suggest is just putting together, making sure that the content of the video actually matches the video title that you're using, as well as the content that's inside of the description text, because a lot of times all people do is put a link to their website and they don't actually write anything in there. And that's kind of old school. It used to work doing that, but now Google is getting smarter and it wants to serve relevant content to people searching for it on the internet. So having words and using words having to do with your title. So for instance, in this video I'm going to be talking about skillfully cleaning carpets and all that good stuff. So that's all going to help with the ranking, just having that content in the video itself. Now we're going to go ahead and go inside, because what I wanted to note here is what we're going to be cleaning is this beautiful white wool carpeting. So how this is going to be treated, I'm going to be using our Master Blend soap-free product on this carpet, and that will just prevent any extra residue or anything from getting in there, just using a nice fiber safe product. I'm not going to be adding any peroxide to it. I'm just going to be running it straight from, that's what I've used before in the past, and it works very great. And when you get callbacks from customers to come out and clean their carpets, a year later or whatever, that's a good sign that you're using the right product and you're doing the right thing. These carpets look absolutely beautiful. There was the first time we got called in here, this right here was really bad. I think it was pet urine. I don't remember what was spilled here, but evidently we did a pretty good job in the past, and they are calling us back to do another routine cleaning. So the product that we're using is Master Blend soap free, and I'm going to be running that straight today. I'm not going to be adding anything else to it, but what I like about that is using the Master Blend for me as a kind of a base cleaner. That base cleaner is a real nice soapless non-residue cleaner, and then I can add anything else that I need to help boost that product to help me with other situations. So I'll use that. I would cut down the dilution a little bit on it. So instead of mixing it 4 scoops per gallon, or 4 scoops per 2 gallons, I should say 2 scoops per gallon, I would probably mix it at 1 scoop per gallon, and then mix a little bit of peroxide in with it. And then if we are doing like a real greasy situation, we'll bust out the hot knife by Vacaway, hot knife, or the grease hog, depending on exactly the nature of what the grease actually is. Although the hot knife is supposed to work really well on animals and stuff like that, I tend to use a little bit of the grease hog. I should probably try the hot knife to see how that works, because the pH on the grease hog is obviously quite a bit higher than the pH on the hot knife. So it might behoove me in some situations, like if there were cat hair all over the place, maybe a little tiny bit of hot knife added into the our base cleaner here as an example, because the hot knife is a very good rinse free. It's a low pH, or I should say relatively low. I think it's an 8 something 8.5 pH or something like that. So it's relatively low, but it has the oomph to cut through the grease and debris like a hot knife through butter. So we're going to begin with our pre-vacuum and move on with our three-phase cleaning and skillfully get this place all cleaned up and looking absolutely beautiful on this beautiful wet rainy day in Milwaukie, Oregon. So I will catch you guys on the inside. Upon completion of phase one, what I do, obviously to get all the loose debris and soils and things out of the carpeting, little pine needles, strands of hair left behind by pets or whatever, the vacuum does a really good job. However, secondly, what it also allows me to do as an experienced professional carpet cleaner, it allows me to examine thoroughly all of the carpets. It kind of allows my brain to slow down and kind of think about the cleaning process that I'm wanting to take. Obviously, I already wanted to run a CRB, and then phase 3, we do an extraction. However, as I'm going through here and I'm looking at this Berber cotton, or wool, I'm sorry, it's pretty much what this is. It's not heavily soiled. However, there are traffic areas where there's some shadowing and stuff like that going on, where there's heavy traffic, and a lot of it came up just with a pre-vacuum. It looks really good. So what I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna just run the master blend and the CRB. Another good combo is the blast combo of the detonator and dynamite by Vacaway. That is another very good encapsulation cleaner. I would shy away from using anything high pH on anything like this, but I do know that both the blast and the soap-free, I think I'm leaning more towards the soap-free because the blast product itself is like a pH of 9, and I know the master blend stuff, it's about a 9, but it's supposed to be self-neutralizing. So, and I believe the blast is as well. And then obviously in here it's still Berber, but we got this. Actually, I don't know what the exact name is for carpet like this. It's a nylon, but this here obviously is going to be the worst of it. So I was going to extract in here. If I have to extract and run our lines and hoses down here, but we are also going to treat with the CRB as well. But as far as the rest of the house goes, where the cotton, or I'm sorry, the wool Berber is, I think I'm just going to leave that with the CRB and not plan on extracting. So extracting in the front room area and not extracting in the rest of the house. And of course, as we go along, I'll just make sure that is actually the option that we want to go with, just by noting how things eventually just turn out. So what I might do is typically I would start in the front room, but I think I might start back here just to allow adequate dwell so that I can take a look and examine our skillfulness to see how things turn out. I have absolutely no doubt it's going to turn out beautiful. I was kind of debating if I wanted any oxidization with a little tiny bit of the dynamite that we can add to here, which is basically peroxide to our solution, and that would just help oxidize a little bit. They say 3%. I have to actually do some study to find out what 3% actually means, because somebody can say 3%, but that's okay. If my solution is 20% peroxide and I add it and it gets diluted down into 2 gallons of water, how exactly do I figure out how much is 3%? So that is going to be some games and calling around that I'm going to do to talk to people who are smarter than I am about figuring out mixes and ratios and everything. Alright, I'm doing a quick walkthrough right now. This is not the white wool carpeting, white Berber wool carpeting. This is, again, I don't even know what you would call this carpet. You'd think I would know, after cleaning for 15 plus years. But anyways, it turned out absolutely beautiful. This right here was the most hardcore spot traffic area, and it turned out absolutely beautiful. And again, we have not extracted or anything, so probably come back through here and just extract this one little area here, because this was the hardest spot, and I know that the chemistry of these encapsulation products are, break away and loosen all that dirt up so that it can be all vacuumed away. However, I like just knowing that it got all extracted, because the product does break it and loosen it all up, and it does a really good job of cleaning it up. I like it because the encapsulations leave carpets extremely soft, depending on the quality of the product. So there are certain products that I use that I like because of the way that they crystallize. They just leave the carpet super, super soft. In some cases, or in a lot of cases, a lot softer than than a heavy extraction will leave it, even with a good fiber rinse. A lot of times isn't able to do as good of a job as some encapsulation products, which sounds counterintuitive, but you guys, if you haven't really studied your chemistry all that much and haven't delved into both the VLM and HWE, hot water extraction, and all that, and actually done your homework, then you actually don't know, because hot water extraction is only 50% of the carpet cleaning industry. 50, it may be more like 30%, because you have hot water extraction, you've got very low moisture cleaning, you've got bonnet cleaning, you've got your OP machines, you've got so many variations where they kind of cross over each other. If you're looking at sets, if you guys are into numbers or anything, you got sets A and B, and then all the commonalities that are shared between A and B is known as a union, and that's kind of like the overlap that's going on there. So that's sort of like pretty much what carpet cleaning does, is that there's a lot of overlap. Now, taking a look at these white Berber wool here, this looks absolutely beautiful. Very happy with the way that master blend product worked. And coming into the bedroom, this was a hard hit area right here. We might hit this up, but I'm looking at only hitting it up with maybe 200 pounds of water at the most, because I really don't want these carpets to get wet. Possibly right in here, but to me that looks pretty good. I mean, it's patterns. We'll probably run a little green brush over it. like a grande groom or something, just to get the patterns out of here. But everything else looks absolutely beautiful with just the an encapsulation with our CRB. Hey, okay, I thought I'd throw this in here. When I refer to stress testing your cleaning products and everything, it's when you have time and it's not getting in the way or doing anything. It's go ahead and do something chemistry-wise that you typically wouldn't do, just so that you can see the results of what it's doing. Knowing those little ins and outs and playing around and tweaking stuff is how you begin to manipulate the chemistry to work for you, and that's why it's best just to get on one line of product, so that you know the ins and outs and how to tweak it to work with all your cleaning situations and needs. And as far as SEO goes, it's kind of the same thing. You go ahead and you make a little tweak, you see what kind of results it produces in search results and things like that, and then you continue just making small little tweaks. I mean, that's tweaks to your wordology, or I call it wordology, or wordcraft, or whatever, in let's say the descriptions of your YouTube videos, or in if you're putting metadata in images, or you're creating content for websites. Those are all words. There's a bunch of power words out there that Google tends to like. It really likes synonyms and the multiple variation of use of words. It really, for some reason, it really seems to favor that. So it's odd that carpet cleaning and SEO overlap in some places. So the garage in here actually turned out really nice. I was not expecting the soap-free to attack this oil-loving olefin like it did. Carpeting made of plastics such as olefin and polyesters and stuff like that tend to like to hold on to grease a lot more and resist water. So I wasn't expecting this miracle to happen here, because there were all kinds of spots all over the place. I didn't know if they must have been drinks or something. I was kind of expecting, well, maybe bike, or seeing a shop, a table there, do a little bit of work and drip some oil on the ground and that sort of stuff. But it all came right up. So either it was not any petroleum-based stuff on the carpeting, or there was, and I just cleaned it up, and the soap-free just was absolutely awesome. So either case, it's a win-win for today. It looks absolutely beautiful. So I encourage you guys who are out there carpet cleaning to go ahead and test your products and really kind of explore what their capabilities are. Because you might be surprised that things actually work differently than you think.